12 months out, around the same time, October of next year, you think BTC is going to be north of $250,000?
Yeah. And it'll be some combination of Bitcoin. You know, one Bitcoin's worth one Bitcoin. But the dollar continues to fall. I mean, a dollar last year was worth more than a dollar is this year. And 2 years ago, it was worth more than even than that. And a dollar against Bitcoin is worth even less. And it will continue that way because as Bitcoin grows its network, its intrinsic value is much higher. And so we'll end up with, eventually the dollar will go extinct and we will, and so the number will eventually be, what's the price of Bitcoin against a dollar? Eventually it'll be infinity because the dollar will be worth zero.
Wow.
So if you are a holder of dollars, you should know that if a bank goes under, and you need to somehow figure out how to support your family. If you run a business or are on the board of a business and you see a bank going under, you better have some Bitcoin because you will maybe not be able to cover the 4 weeks that you are personally liable for of keeping those people employed. And if you are a government and you should start to own Bitcoin because your currency is at risk. Your fiat is at risk because, you know, I look at this as, let's say you're going to war and you have knives and the other team has knives, but then the other team invents gunpowder and you decide whether you want to use gunpowder or not. If you decide not to use gunpowder, you're fighting knives with guns, and you're fighting with knives against guns, and you're going to lose that battle. Well, the same thing's true if you don't incorporate into your economy Bitcoin. It's just better technology. It improves. It's transparent. It keeps perfect records. You don't need the accounting, the lawyers, the tax collector, any of that, because it's all built into the blockchain.
Yeah.
This is extraordinary and it's transformative. So I'm not really familiar with what people are trading day to day, but I have a really good sense year to year or decade to decade how this is going to go. My dad
I hear you.
gave me a $1 million bill. And he said, here's a $1 million bill. And I went, whoa, $1 million. I was 10 years old. What can I do with it? And he said, nothing. And I said, what do you mean it's $1 million? And he said, that's $1 million Confederate dollars. The Confederate dollar inflated against the Union dollar, and it became worth nothing. And everybody wanted the Union dollar, and there was a run on the Confederate dollar, and it was a big inflationary thing. And eventually, nobody wanted the Confederate dollar. No one took the Confederate dollar.
Yeah.
And everybody went for the Union dollar. I think the same thing will happen from the Union dollar to Bitcoin.
Oh, dear. Okay, and I love your analogy there. You know, sticking with fiat currencies and dollars like bringing a knife to a gunfight is the old saying, right?